Himiko found Haley 20 minutes later, standing outside her newly assigned room with one hand still resting on the keycard lock, as if she did not entirely trust it to stay real. "Dinner," Himiko announced. Haley turned wary. "Is that an order?" "An invitation. Those are better because you can say no, but Mina will take it personally, and Achako makes this little face when she's disappointed." "I do not," Achako said from behind her. Himiko grinned. Achako held up a paper bag fragrant with takeout, while Mina balanced 3 drink trays and somehow had a 4th tucked under one arm. "You're coming," Mina told Haley. "No weird formal gratitude speech. We are eating noodles and conducting a very serious sister background investigation." Haley's shoulders pulled tight at the word investigation. Then she looked at Himiko. Himiko made herself shrug. "Pink Floaty will be there. She's the lead detective." That earned a small laugh. "All right," Haley said. "I'll submit to questioning." They ate on the floor of Himiko's room because Mina declared the table too emotionally distant. Pink Floaty inspected every carton with professional interest before curling in Haley's lap, an act of betrayal Himiko planned to remember forever. For a while, the conversation stayed safely ridiculous. Mina explained dorm laundry politics. Achako told Haley which vending machine stole coins and which one gave out 2 sodas if you kicked its lower panel in exactly the right place. Haley listened more than she spoke, smiling into her noodles when Himiko made Pink Floaty interrogate the chopsticks. Then the easy sounds thinned out. Himiko watched Haley's hands. They were steady around the carton, though one thumb kept touching a dark bracelet at her wrist, dull metal, broad enough to hide beneath a sleeve, with a tiny indicator light pulsing green. "So," Himiko said, and hated how young her own voice sounded, "why did you leave?" Achako's gaze flicked to her, soft but careful. Mina stopped chewing. Haley set her food down. "I didn't want to." The room seemed to hold its breath with Himiko. "I was 16, Haley continued. "I'd started using my quirk more. Our parents said it made the house unsafe. Not because I'd hurt anyone, I hadn't, but because I reminded them of everything they wanted to pretend wasn't happening." Her fingers closed around the bracelet. "I argued when they started talking about you like you were a problem to be managed. Dad told me to pack a bag. Mom stood in the hallway and let him." Himiko stared at the bent corner of the noodle carton in her hands. "I thought they would call me back," Haley said. "I thought I'd come home in a few days and I could take you out for ice cream and explain it all. But they changed the locks. They moved. Every time I tried to find you, I got another closed door." "You should have tried harder," Himiko said. "I should have." Haley did not defend herself. Her eyes shone, but she kept looking straight at Himiko. "I'm sorry." The words did not fix anything. They were not supposed to. Still, there was something strange about hearing them without an excuse tied around them. Achako's knee pressed gently against Himiko's. A quiet anchor, not a demand. Himiko sniffed. "You have terrible timing." "I know." "And your knife egg was terrifying." "I know that too." Mina cleared her throat, deliberately bright. "Speaking of, can it fly?" Haley blinked. "The egg." "The knife egg. You made a hovering cage. I feel like the logical next question is whether you can ride one." A reluctant smile touched Haley's mouth. "I can, sort of." "What?" Himiko and Mina said together. Haley glanced toward the window. "If I make the shell dense enough, with the handles braced together, I can sit in the center and direct it. It's more like a very uncomfortable floating basket than flying." "You fly in a knife egg," Himiko said reverently. "Only when I have to." That answer made Achako's expression change. "You've had to." Haley went still. Her thumb clicked once against the bracelet. "I did some work before I came here," she said at last. "Not villain work. I wore a black hoodie and a mask, kept my face covered, and helped people who couldn't safely call heroes. getting someone out of an abusive apartment, moving medicine through neighborhoods where gangs took it, things like that. Undercover vigilante work, Achako said quietly. Something like that. Aizawa's rules sat unseen in the room. No unsupervised combat, no unauthorized field activity, no exceptions made because good intentions looked pretty. "What's the bracelet?" Himiko asked. Haley looked at it with an expression Himiko recognized too well. The look of someone preparing to explain the part that made others step back. "My body doesn't regulate quirk output right," Haley said. "It makes me weak and feverish if I push too long, and the vectors can become erratic. This limits the strain. It also lets me use a few support settings the doctor designed, magnetic pull, short-range stabilization. But my real quirk is still just this." She lifted one orange practice knife from her case. It floated above her palm, perfectly motionless. "I make blades float and I tell them where to go." Himiko watched the harmless foam edge turn slowly in the warm lamplight. "Tonight," Haley said, "someone I used to help sent a message. A family is stuck in a building after a landlord locked an illegal fire exit. I thought I could check it. Quietly." "No," Achako said at once. Haley nodded as though she had expected it. "You're right. I shouldn't have said anything." "No," Himiko said, sharper. "You should have said it, you just shouldn't go alone." Haley's face tightened. "You're under supervision. I just got here. I don't want either of you losing this because of me." Mina reached for her phone. "Then we tell Aizawa. He'll be grumpy in 6 different dimensions, and then he'll send actual help." Haley looked from Mina to Achako to Himiko. For one brief second, hope made her seem exactly like the girl Himiko half remembered. But when Mina stepped into the hallway to make the call, Haley's wrist light flashed amber. "My contact says they're moving the family now," she murmured. "There isn't time." "Haley." The window clicked open. 12 orange blades rose from the case. Himiko caught her sister's sleeve. "Don't disappear." Haley covered Himiko's hand with hers. "I'm trying to make sure someone else doesn't." The blades swept around her, handles interlocking into a rounded, gleaming shell. Haley folded herself into its center. Then the knife egg lifted beyond the window, silent as a held secret, and vanished into the dark. The next morning, Haley's bed had not been slept in. Himiko found her in the common room kitchen, standing beside a pile of vending machine snacks with her hood up, and a strip of gauze peeking over one knuckle. "Where were you?" Himiko asked. Haley turned too quickly. "Getting snacks." "Your room is untouched." "I took a long route." Himiko stared at the crushed wrapper in Haley's hand, then at the amber warning light on her bracelet. Haley's smile was thin and riddled with exhaustion. "Want to hang out today? We could teach 𝓫𝓮𝓰𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰𝓼 to judge people less." It was a terrible lie. It was also an invitation. Himiko took the snack from her hand, opened it, and split it in half. "You can start by telling me why you're bleeding." Haley's eyes lowered. Outside, the first training bell began to ring.